community with a shared future through enhancing exchanges and mutual learning among Asian civilizations. Delivering a keynote speech at the opening ceremony, Chinese President Xi Jinping said that human civilizations have become richer and more colorful through exchanges and mutual learning. President Xi emphasized that different civilizations are equally rewarding, and the relations between them in the modern world should be addressed in a peaceful and friendly approach.
文明只有姹紫嫣红之别，但绝无高低优劣之分。
There are only different cultures, no superior or inferior ones. Those who think their races or cultures are better and try to change or replace other cultures are wrong in their mindsets and are doomed to fail.
Evolving for thousands of years, Asian civilization has deep roots in the lands and has been enriched by other civilizations through communications. President Xi put forward 4 proposals, including treating each other with mutual respect and equality, creating fertile ground for all cultures to bloom, keeping an open mind to foreign cultures, and innovating to catch up with the change of times. He also said the development of Chinese culture is a good example of open communication between different peoples.
中华文明是亚洲文明的重要组成部分。
The Chinese culture is a vital component of Asian civilizations. It has been developing with the principles of inheriting tradition, innovation, and inclusiveness. The Chinese people have always embraced the philosophy of befriending our neighbors and being at peace with all foreign nations.
President Xi emphasized that today's China is not just China's China. It is also Asia's China and the world's China. China in the future will embrace the world and contribute with open mind and dynamic culture.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has met with Greek President Prokopius Pavlopoulos. The two countries have agreed to deepen exchanges and cooperation. Meanwhile, Xi also met with other leaders invited to the Conference on Dialogue of Asian Civilizations. These include Sri Lanka's President Maithripala Sirisena, Cambodian King Norodom Sihamoni, and Singapore's President Hilama Yacob. Earlier on Tuesday, Chinese President Xi Jinping welcomed Greek President Prokopius Pavlopoulos in Beijing.
Information one tap away, information around the clock. Participants say shifts in technology are a major challenge to the region's media industry.
Now, the question here is that are we prepared? Yeah? Are the skills of our journalists ready to meet that development? These are new reality, and we need to upgrade.
The new tasks could also mean new ways to deliver the right stories.
The media, how can it help in sharing the success stories of the ASEAN-China partnership? So with the platform of the new media, we have the opportunity to reach broader audience. And therefore, I sincerely hope that the momentum created by this year of media exchange will enhance the ASEAN-China strategic partnership.
It's crucial for everyone to appreciate each other, especially now that we live in a time when much of the world is unstable. China and ASEAN countries believe in peace and mutual growth, and media have a role to convey that idea.
One key story to tell involves the region's shared future on the region's major initiative.
One Belt, One Road, it's become a buzzword now. We in Asia, because we have to consider that Belt and Road Initiative will bring benefit to Asia as well. Will bring benefit to the participating countries beyond Asia and of course to China. So they need to know. We need to know in Asia what is the Belt and Road Initiative, what kind of benefits it will bring to the people.
China and ASEAN countries have a combined population of over 2 billion people. More than 57 million trips are made in between each year. Participants say closer ties have made it ever more important for each side to get their stories across to the other.
With an app and a pair of VR goggles, moviegoers can watch on-screen 3D films in the palms of their hands. Smart Cinema 2.0 brings entertainment closer to audiences, literally within inches.
It's actually to target to increase the audience through the billions of smartphones compared to a few thousand of physical theaters. So there will be considerable increase the movie consumption as addition of the physical theaters.
In 2018, China's box office scored a record 60 billion yuan, or $9 billion US dollars. However, cinemas are limited. Last year, over 2/3 of films approved for screenplay in China were not shown in physical theaters. Gao says his app may also help these filmmakers find their audiences. Well, it's basically a pocket cinema on the go with dozens of movies at your fingertips, and with the coming arrival of 5G networks, mobile cinema is expected to benefit more moviegoers. Gao says that 70% of Chinese, especially in rural and remote areas, have never been to an actual movie theater. Take Tibet Autonomous Region, for example. The 1.2 million square kilometer area has only 30 theaters and 86 screens, but almost everyone has a smartphone.
It's able to do so only because it's enhanced by the technology of the mobile technologies. Now moving to 4K, which required the better network. With the current technology, 3G or 4G, the experience is not that great, which is not the case for 5G. So we're looking forward to it.
So far, Smart Cinema has over 2 million views. It is also eyeing overseas markets like Italy and Spain. Gao also reviewed plans to tap into North America and other regions to introduce more Chinese movies to foreign audiences.
Backpack strapped over her shoulder, Pak Guin gets on the bus. She's much older than the rest of the passengers, but all of that doesn't matter, because she's surrounded by peers, happily going to school.
I couldn't even write my own name before coming to school. I didn't even know what a school looked like.
Last year, Pak Guin entered school for the first time in her life, starting first grade. Having grown up immediately after the Korean War, Pak never had the opportunity to get an education. In a mostly patriarchal society, she was tasked to support the family, while her older brother went to school. Now, after almost 70 years, she's finally being given back some humanity.
What dream could I have? Just being able to truly know my name and being able to go somewhere, anywhere, and read the street and shop signs, or knowing what kind of mail has come from me. Being able to know that, that's all I dreamed of.
But it's not just South Korea's attempt at redemption, but a growing trend in South Korea, which faces a demographic crisis. Over 100 primary schools in South Korea did not welcome any new first graders this year. That's because there aren't many new children. Birth rates are plummeting in South Korea, and schools across the country are slowly disappearing, especially in rural areas. So to save education in the countryside and fill classrooms, schools like Panglim Elementary have opened its doors to an older generation of women who were forced to sacrifice their education for their family and country. Falling birth rates and an aging population spells trouble for South Korea as its workforce grows older. And with an aged society, South Korea boasts the highest elderly suicide and poverty rates among advanced economies.
As more of South Korea's population ages, the national pension does little to help support the elderly. With many forced to fend for themselves, South Korea's older generation have to continue to work, and so their living conditions are very poor.
After morning classes, Pak Guin and her older classmates leave school early. She, like most of the village's older population, live alone and have to work to stay alive. But she says school makes her want to wake up every morning, telling me, "School gives me ambition, it gives me hope, because learning how to read and write is my biggest goal."